Little duckling, what's your name? Ducky. That's a nice name. Would you like to have an adventure? Sure. Well, off we go then. They walked down a path by a lake. The duckling paddled in front of her. She followed close behind. Soon they came to a little wooden hut. A little girl stood by the door, holding a whip. Hello. Are you lost? She asked the duckling. No, I'm not lost. I'm going on an adventure. An adventure? But you're just a little duckling. What kind of adventures can you have? Lots of adventures. Come and see. She opened the door and beckoned for the duckling to go inside. The duckling hesitated. Something told him to be careful. He didn't know this little girl and where she lived. Who knew what might happen? But his adventurous spirit got the best of him, and he went inside. The little girl closed the door behind them and led the duckling into a dark room. There was a table and a chair in the middle of the room. The duckling couldn't see anything else because it was so dark. Then suddenly, a light turned on, and the little girl had a big smile on her face. "Look what I have here," she said. The duckling looked over and saw the most beautiful creature he had ever seen. It was a puppet made out of wood. It had a long nose that looked real. Its eyes were made out of buttons, but they twinkled like stars. The puppet was wearing a little red cap and a jacket. It sat on the table as if it were alive. I'm going to call you Pinocchio, the little girl said. And Pinocchio, this is my new friend Ducky. They're going to be best friends forever. Ducky wanted to tell her that he was going home, but before he could say a word, Pinocchio started talking. Hello, Ducky. I'm so happy to have a friend at last. No one ever wants to play with me because I'm just a puppet. But you're my best friend now, Ducky, so we're gonna have lots of fun together. Then Pinocchio started jumping up and down. He was so excited. The little girl clapped her hands and laughed. Ducky felt bad. He didn't want to hurt the puppet's feelings, but he really wanted to go home. So he started to walk towards the door. Wait, Ducky, don't go. Let's play pirates, Pinocchio said. Oh no, I have to go home. My mommy will be so worried. You can stay here and be a pirate. You won't even have to go home, Pinocchio said. He jumped off the table and ran over to the window. He opened it up and peeked outside. Look, Ducky, we can sail away on the lake. We'll be pirates sailing the 7 seas. Won't that be fun? But Ducky still wanted to go home. He looked back at Pinocchio. The puppet had such a sad look on his wooden face that Ducky's heart melted. All right, let's play pirates, he said. They both went over to the window. Ducky could see his mother swimming around in the lake, looking for him. He wanted to shout out to her, but he didn't want Pinocchio to get upset. So he just waved his little duck bill at her. His mother just kept swimming around and around. Ducky and Pinocchio played pirates all day. They had so much fun. But after a while, Ducky started to get tired. He yawned a big yawn. Let's take a little break, he said. He laid down on the floor and closed his eyes. Pinocchio jumped down from the window and came over to the duckling. Don't go to sleep, Ducky. We have to keep playing. I'm so tired, Pinocchio. I just have to take a little nap. I promise I'll wake up and we'll play some more. Ducky fell fast asleep. Pinocchio looked at his friend and felt bad. He wished he could make Ducky feel better. He jumped up and down on the bed a few times, but it didn't help. He thought for a moment. Then he had an idea. Pinocchio ran over to the little girl who was sitting in a chair reading a book. Excuse me, but can you please wake my friend up? Why? Don't you just leave him alone? Because he's my best friend, and I want him to be happy. The little girl put her book down. She looked over at the sleeping duckling. Oh, all right, she said. She got up and walked over to Ducky. She bent down and whispered in his ear. Wake up, Ducky. It's time for bed. Ducky opened his eyes and looked around. Oh, it's so late. I'm sorry, Pinocchio, but I have to go home now. My mommy will be so worried. Pinocchio sat up in the bed and looked at his friend. Oh, okay, Ducky, he said sadly. The little girl walked over to the window and opened it up. Here, Ducky, you can go home now, she said. Ducky stood up and took one last look at Pinocchio. He was so sad that their playtime was over. He ran over to the window and jumped out. He flapped his wings and swam off into the night. The little girl and Pinocchio watched him go. "Goodbye, Ducky!" Pinocchio shouted. Ducky turned around and looked at the wooden puppet. He waved his little duck bill. Then he swam away as fast as he could. He didn't want Pinocchio to feel bad, so he pretended that he was in a big hurry. As soon as he got home, he waddled over to his mother. She was so happy to see him. She had been looking all over for him. "Oh, Ducky, I was so worried about you." "Where did you go?" "I went on an adventure, Mommy. I found a new friend too." "You did? Who's your new friend?" "A puppet named Pinocchio." They all went inside the little hut. Ducky's mother was very nice to Pinocchio. She gave him some bread to eat. Then they all sat down by the fire. Ducky was very happy. He had a great adventure, and he made a new friend too.